Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the Western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
IELTS writing samples. The chart shows the average number of hours each day that Chinese, American, Turkish, and Brazilian tourists spent doing leisure activities while on holiday in Greece in August 2019. The bar chart depicts a comparison of the daily time spent by individuals from 4 different countries engaging in activities during their holiday in Greece in August 2019. The activities included going to the beach, visiting various attractions, and reading. In summary, tourists dedicated the most time to reading books during their holiday, while the least time was spent visiting places. Specifically, Chinese tourists allocated the longest duration to reading, totaling 8 hours per day. Conversely, Brazilians indulged the most in beach activities, spending a total of 6 hours. Both American and Turkish tourists dedicated 3 hours each day to visiting places. Likewise, Turkish and Brazilian visitors spent 4 hours per day reading books. However, Chinese tourists allocated twice as much time to reading compared to their Turkish and Brazilian counterparts. Conversely, the American and Turkish groups spent 3 times more time visiting places than the Chinese group.
The bar chart delineates the daily time allocation of individuals from 4 distinct countries participating in activities during their holiday in Greece in August 2019. The activities included beach visits, exploring various attractions, and reading. In summary, during their holiday, tourists devoted the most time to reading books, while their time spent visiting places was the least. Notably, Chinese tourists spent the longest time reading, totaling 8 hours per day. In contrast, Brazilians allocated the most time to beach activities, amounting to 6 hours in total. American and Turkish tourists spent 3 hours daily visiting places, while Turkish and Brazilian tourists dedicated 4 hours each day to reading books. Notably, Chinese tourists devoted double the time to reading compared to Turkish and Brazilian tourists. Conversely, the American and Turkish groups spent 3 times as much time exploring places as the Chinese group.
The table shows the export values of various products in 2009 and 2010. The table depicts the export values and changes of 5 distinct products measured in billions of Hong Kong dollars over 2 consecutive years, 2009 and 2010. Overall, it is notable that export earnings from metals, telecommunications, and equipment experienced increases, with metals exhibiting the fastest growth. Conversely, a decline was observed in the export earnings of clothing and manufacturing. Additionally, by 2010, the export value of telecommunications surpassed that of equipment, becoming the highest value. In 2009, Revenue from exporting equipment accounted for nearly a third of total export earnings, $32 billion, which ranked first among four products, followed by telecommunications, $7.9 billion. Over the next year, it increased to $11.6 billion, while the figure for telecommunications experienced a soar, amounting to $12.7 billion. Metal export values, despite starting at only $2.3 billion in 1997, saw a twofold rise, reaching a high of $5.1 billion in 2010. Concerning clothing and manufacturing, their figures were relatively similar, standing at $6 billion and $5.5 billion, respectively, in 2009, before declining to $5 billion and $4 billion, respectively, by the end of the period.
The table outlines the export values and variations of 5 different products measured in Hong Kong dollars across 2 consecutive years, 2009 and 2010. In summary, it's noteworthy that export revenues from metals, telecommunications, and equipment all rose, with metals experiencing the most rapid growth. Conversely, there was a decline in export earnings from clothing and manufacturing. Moreover, by 2010, the export value of telecommunications had exceeded that of equipment, becoming the highest value. In 2009, revenue from exporting equipment comprised nearly a third of the total export earnings, 32 billion Hong Kong dollars, ranking first among 4 products, followed by telecommunications, $7.9 billion. Over the following year, equipment exports increased to $11.6 billion, while telecommunications experienced a significant surge, amounting to $12.7 billion. Despite starting in 2009 at only $2.3 billion, metal export values saw a twofold rise, reaching a high of $5.1 billion in 2010. Regarding clothing and manufacturing, their figures were quite similar, amounting to $6 billion and $5.5 billion, respectively, in 2009, before decreasing to $5 billion and $4 billion, respectively, by the end of the period.